Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse One here. How is everybody tonight? I hope everybody is doing well. We are going to be talking about Chile tonight, not the kind you eat either. The country of Chile in South America. So once we get onto that, we're going to get to that in just a moment. We're going to talk about what's going on, what caused everything, because it's kind of all of this all of a sudden has exploded within the last 3 weeks down there, and what's going on and what is going to come from it. Okay, so we're going to get into that topic very very shortly. But before we get started, I just wanted to let everybody know this is a very family friendly oriented channel. So please be decent to each other in the chats. Don't be nasty, no racism, and please watch your language. That would be appreciated. If you do not, if you insist on being I'm not a nice person, then my awesome moderators will boot you out. So they do a fantastic job, and they're very, very much appreciated. And so I'm going to say it ahead of time. My moderators, thank you guys for being here every time, being diligent and staying on top of everything. So I appreciate you guys. So anyway, also when I'm done talking, if you want to make a comment or talk about what we're talking about or any kind of comment at all, whatever is on your mind, all cap lock so it kind of stands out for me. Okay. All right, so let's get into topic. Let's talk about Chile, okay? Now, just a little background information first so that people can understand. Chile was in a dictatorship for about 17 years, okay? And in 1990, they became a democracy. So almost 30 years they've been a democracy. And a lot of these things, did I name the guard chickens yet? John just asked. No, what we're going to do, John, I'm going to do a video upcoming real soon where we're going to do top picks for the guard chickens names, and then you guys are going to get to vote on like the top four. I'm going to give you a top four. You guys are going to vote on that top four, and from that we're going to pick the name. So then actually you guys, I'm going to pick the top four that I like is how it goes, and then you guys are going to decide out of those top four what is going to be the guard chickens names. Okay, so but that will be coming up very very soon. I will get that out, I promise you. All right, so anyway, a lot of the similarities that you're going to hear in this topic is going to be very, very eerily familiar, and we're going to talk about those as well. All right. So basically, this all started about 3 weeks ago, these protests. The government decided to raise the toll on transportation as far as, like the subway toll by 30 pesos, which is the equivalent to about 4 cents. Okay, that's 4 cents American. And so people were very upset about this, the working class people, and they started to protest. And it very, very quickly broadened into something else because there's other issues as well. So I got my little notes here that I wrote for myself so that I can remind you. So on the 25th of October, more than 1 million people marched on Santiago, which is the capital of Chile. Okay, to protest what's going on. So not only they were protesting, like I say, the protest started. I got a cat walking around here. What are you doing, Mal? You want out? She usually wants out. Hold on 1 second, guys. Come on. You want to go back out? Come on. Come on. Sorry about that. She's the cat that likes to come in, eat. She comes on the bed, walks all over me, and says, "Let me back out." So I just figured I would let her. I still got Buddy up here, and Max is up here as well. Okay, so they marched on the capital, Santiago, protesting this increase of the subway toll, but it kind of snowballed from there. There was a lot of other things other concerns that the people had. Okay. They were talking, like I said, it started with the subway fare hike, okay, of 30 pesos. And so then it kind of snowballed to include the educational system, health service, economic inequality, and better social services. Okay, so let's talk about economic inequality in the healthcare system and education. This is where the similarity comes into the United States, okay? You have down there, if you are rich and you can afford better health care, you get better treatment. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Where does that also happen? If you got the money, you can pay for whatever you want. I wonder where that would be. Also, the educational system, if you are more wealthy, you can afford better education. Where again does that sound like it comes from? Or like, the Hollywood elite that can pay a $500,000 bribe to get their kids into whatever school that they want to. So again, that's I found that very, very interesting that, these same similarities are not just happening here in the United States, they're happening all over the world, okay? So I found that very, very interesting. So because of all these protests that have continued on since then, more than 20 people have died in protesting, and more than 7,000 people have been arrested. Now, we're not even going to talk about the number of people, which is in the several hundred, that have been injured and stuff as well, with rubber bullets in their eyes, losing an eye, broken bones, the tactics of the military, the police and stuff down there in that area on behest of the government, okay? So now, because of the people have really gone crazy with this whole protest stuff and have really amped it up, the Chilean president has said that he's going to do a minimum wage hike of 16%. And so what a lot of the people down there feel, because I was doing my research on this, and a lot of the people feel that they're trying to put Band-Aids on a bigger problem. This has been stewing for a long, long time with the people down there. They're not getting the help that they want. They're not getting a chance to, get ahead, if you will, and they're having issues, obviously. So you have all these people that are upset. They want change. And here's the thing that I do find interesting. A lot of this is being driven by the young people. Because the old people, honestly, and I'm going to say old people, older people, let's just say that, because I would fall in that older people category. I'm not old yet. I don't think I am anyway. Not here, I'm not. But anyway, the older people just kind of roll with it. You know what I mean? They've been beaten down and downtrodden for so long that it's just like, they're pissed and they're not happy about it. But, coming to a municipality near you. Yeah, no kidding, JJ. But again, it's, that they've kind of given up, where the young people still have hope. And so a lot of these protests, and we're not, it's not just Chile, guys, okay? You're talking. So here's something else I'm going to talk about real quickly in a second. But anyway, a lot of this protests, and not just Chile, around the world, are being driven by young people that have had enough. They've seen what's happened with their parents. They're tired of the status quo. They're tired of the elitist, if you will, continuing to get richer and richer and richer, where the poor continue to get poorer, and the middle class is struggling to keep their head above water. Okay, people are tired of it, and so they're lashing out. And it's like I said, so we're just going to give a few examples: Lebanon, Egypt, Hong Kong. Okay, obviously Chile, Venezuela. There's 5 examples right there alone, and there's a lot more out there. Okay, people are tired. They're tired of all the nonsense. They're tired of being told what to do, what to think, how to feel, and people are starting to rebel. So again, now I had done a video earlier, and I talked about when will it be enough for the people of the U.S.? What is going to be that straw that breaks the camel's back? Now, this straw here that started this whole snowball in Chile was the government once again increasing a fee. So to ride the subways, they increased it by 30 pesos, which is 4 cents, which in the United States would go 4 cents, big deal. But again, when they're making a lot less money than we do, that's a lot of money to those people. Hey, Mountain Girl, how you doing? Very bad situation over there. Yes, it is. A lot of bad situations actually all over the world. And thank you very much for that donation. I appreciate that. Yeah, there's a lot of very, very bad situations going on all over the place. And again, a lot of it's being driven by the young, and I think that's a good thing because, they still have hope. You know what I mean? Where a lot of older people have gone, well, okay, so let's look at another generation that protested and had hope. And what did they end up becoming? Okay. Let's talk about the 60s real quick. All right. You're talking about the hippie generation, and they were going to, tune out and, and just kind of chill. Well, a lot of those people became corporate people, and they realized that it's a game. And the yellow vest, yes, in France, completely forgot about talking about them too, Bruno. Thank you for reminding me. So there's 6. There's another one. So you're talking people well, in France, they don't play. France, they will go in and hang everybody. They've done that many, many times in the past when they've had enough of the government. But happened in New York City about the subway fee. I didn't see that down there, but you're talking people have had enough. And again, I said in a previous video, what's going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back for the U.S.? What is going to be the thing that we say enough is enough? And it's coming. I absolutely believe that it's coming. When you have, when the police. So I just saw this recently, and there was a Trump demonstration, and Antifa was there, or no, a Trump gathering, and Antifa was there. And now I don't know how true this part of it was, but you saw the people being attacked by the Antifa people, and the police weren't doing anything about it from what I saw in the video. Now, they very well could have been. They could have had their hands tied. I don't know. But people were saying that the police were told to stand down. I don't know how true that is, so I can't go on that. I just go with what I saw in the video, and it showed Antifa, of course, sucker punching people when they weren't looking, and stuff like that, ripping the hats off their heads, all those type of situations. But again, things are getting more and more violent here in the United States. I'm sure you guys have seen that as well. Protests are not peaceful protests a lot of the times anymore. And so things can get dangerous very, very fast and get out of control very, very fast. And it continues to happen. So the situation in Chile is something to pay attention to, just like all these other hotspots right now around the world. But here's the thing that I find really, really interesting. Where's all the channel-to-channel swapped coverage of that? BALEX Baxwaggle. I think especially in New York, we are fighting a losing battle. Dems cleaned up in Erie County, Buffalo yesterday. The U.S. needs a yellow vest movement. Well, that doesn't surprise me. In the Erie County and Buffalo, you're talking about a very, very liberal area. And thank you very much for that donation. When you're talking Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, New York City, and Long Island, those areas are dominated by the Democrats, leadership, if you will, and the people. And, so that's the issue with that, and it's always going to be that way in those areas, as long as people are continue to be snowballed and think. And here's the thing that amazes me. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about this. We're going to get off this topic a little bit and talk about this. And I think this is really, really interesting. When you have people like Candace Owens, and she's talking about the Democratic leaderships in different places like Baltimore, like Detroit, like Chicago, that have been Democratic forever. Okay. What have they done for black people? And it's black leadership. Okay. It is, you're talking Obama was out of Chicago. You're talking, oh God, I can't think of the guy's name. The guy that just died down in Baltimore. But anyways, these people been there forever and ever and ever. And they are doing nothing to help the black people. But yet every 4 years or every 2 years, they go in droves and vote Democratic because of social programs. The thing is, the program that we need to implement, not just for black people, but for all people. Okay. And I was just using that as an example. Nothing changes, but they don't do anything to change it. That's a definition of insanity. Repeating the same pattern over and over and over again and expecting things to change and nothing changes. So the Democrats are in those cities are not helping those people. We need programs that's going to help people come out of poverty. Now, how do you do that? Education is a big one, guys. Education is huge. If we can teach people the importance of education and helping yourself, again, it's a theme that I talk about a lot, right? I try to teach you guys to help yourselves. It's the same thing that we need to do from generations of people in the inner city, and it's not just blacks. It's blacks, it's Hispanics, it's whites, it's your poor people in those areas. They don't see any way out. if we can teach them that there is a way out, that they can better themselves, that they can get a job where they can make a decent living. And I'm going to tell you what, and it doesn't have to be college, trade schools. Teach these people to become electricians and plumbers and carpenters. And I'm going to tell you what, they're never going to not be without work. There's always going to be work. So masonry jobs, those type of things. Those work with your hands, make a respectable living. Don't be hugely in debt. Teach people that. That I think is really, really important. So, I mean, it's just, that's my 2 cents on that. And I just, like I said, I see these same patterns follow over and over and over again, and nothing changes and nobody does anything about it. So, let's see. Social programs have their own rules, and if you don't follow the rules, you're out. Carlene Jackson just said, oh, I'm sure that they do. I'm sure that they do. But like I said, if we could have programs, not just, see, here's the difference. Right now we have programs to enable people, to not get people to be motivated to help themselves get out of that situation because they're making more money and benefits wise being on these social programs. If we can teach people to rise above that nonsense, that's going to be better for everybody. And again, I'm not just talking about black people. I'm not just talking about Hispanic people. I'm talking about poor white people. If you go up through the mountains of Kentucky and stuff, guys, and in those areas, there's a lot of people on welfare, and most of them are white. Okay. Again, poor people, if we can help them to make themselves better, teach people how to help themselves, that's what it's about, in my opinion. And I'm just giving you my opinion on that. Hey, Red Wolves 215. I think we, the U.S., are on the brink of civil war really soon. I'm starting to get really scared for the future of our country. Thank you very much for that donation. If it was civil war, I mean, how do you know who your enemy is, realistically? It's not going to be a north-south thing this time. I think what they want, the elitist, if you will, they want us to engage in some kind of civil war with the left and the right. And I've talked about that. And that's just crazy. It's crazy. It doesn't solve anything. It doesn't fix anything. So, there's where a lot of your problems are with that type of situation. So, you got a right to be scared. I mean, there's a lot of scary stuff going on that I think needs to make people nervous. But, I don't see a civil war happening unless there's some kind of major event that the government pulls off to try to, if they try to pass some kind of sweeping legislation to disarm people. I think then you'll see people rising up. I really do at that point. JJ said bank run started in China, coming soon to our shores. That's when SHTF is here. Oh, yeah, if we have a breakdown of the banks in the monetary system, it's going to definitely be a bad thing. It's funny. I'm going to tell you real quick, and I'm going to go on to more of what we're talking about. And guys, if you haven't shot me a thumbs up yet, if you would do that, I absolutely would appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to the channel, please make sure you subscribe, hit the bell icon so you get all the notifications, and just like, comment, and share too. I do appreciate all of it. I got great people on this channel. The chats are always absolutely awesome. We have great people in the chats, which is great, and varying different opinions, which is fine. I have no problem with somebody having a different opinion than I have, as long as you can express yourself in a way that is not nasty or negative. You can have your piece and say how you feel. And when I say negative, I mean like mean negative. You can be negative, but you know what I mean. So, impeachment on Trump in the U.S., BRICS in the U.K., major distraction going on. And I agree with you 100%. The whole impeachment of Trump thing is just absolutely smoke and mirrors and game playing. There's something else going on. The BRICS situation over in the U.K., I feel sorry for my brothers and sisters over there. With you guys having to deal with that. You voted that you wanted out, and they keep stalling because they don't want to go. So, they're not listening to the people. And again, I think there's another reason why people need to say enough is enough is enough. What is the point? There comes a point where people, and the thing is, you can protest in a positive, peaceful way and get your point across, where, like these people are protesting down in Chile. now the government's all of a sudden coming up where they're going to raise the minimum wage by 16%. Maybe that's just a Band-Aid, but that's better than nothing. You know what I mean? They could just continue to go in there and break skulls. So, again, it's just, you just don't know. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm not a protest guy. I don't like protest, even if I believe in the cause of the protest. I see too many negative things that can happen because of it. And that's just my opinion. But like I said, when you're having a lot of things going on, things can get really, really bad in a hurry. And I think it's going to continue to degrade. There's going to be continued to be false flag events that are going to happen. And, it's scary. It's scary, but, I wanted to, a lot of people have been telling me, oh, you got to get this book. This is a great book to read. Okay. So couple years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, a young lady gave me a book, and she said, got to read this book. William Forsythe, 1 Second After. All right. I read this book. Awesome book. If you are a prepper and you prep in any way, shape, or form, I highly, highly, highly recommend this book. A lot of great information in this book. Okay. So I read this book years ago, and then I passed it on to somebody else to read, and I never got the book back. So I just recently repurchased this book. All right. Since then, the book that I'm reading now, again by William Forsythe, 1 year after. Okay. So far, since what I've read so far, been absolutely fantastic. Okay. So that's the second book of that series. And then he has a third book, which I obviously will read after I'm done with the first two, The Final Day. All right. I have no affiliation with this gentleman. I'm not getting anything out of this recommending this to you guys, but I'm going to tell you right now, fantastic reading, a lot of very, very realistic information in here that tells you how things will be, and it's fantastic. Isn't that the voice of Charlie from Charlie's Angels? I don't know if that's it or not, JJ. I'm not sure. Could be. Absolutely. But great, fantastic books. I'm going to tell you what, like I said, I absolutely highly recommend them. Mountain Girl said I have the first two books, but not the third. Okay, yeah. Well, like I said, I went and I ordered. I got them off of Amazon. I ordered all three. Like I said, I had the first one already. I wanted to have it again because if somebody wanted to borrow it to read it, I absolutely want to let them read it. So, Mountain Girl says I also have Lights Out. Oh yeah, with Ted Koppel. I haven't read that one yet. I definitely want to. I think that would be a good book as well. Tubular Guy 9 says he's dead. Oh, the guy that did the voice of Charlie's Angels? Okay. I was going to say, because that was back in the 70s. Yeah, the guy's name was John Force. Oh, it's a different guy. Okay. So anyway, this is a different guy. So, but yeah, I'm like I said, I'm reading the second book now. It has been excellent. And I'm really curious to hear about the 9 American family members murdered in Mexico. I did hear about that, Danny. I'm going to tell you what, I have a kind of a different way of looking at that. Like, people are talking about, oh my God, how horrible, which it is horrible. When you have 6 children and 3 women killed. Okay. But my thing is this, okay. Angry American Survival Series and the Franklin Horton's Borrowed World and Locker 9 series are must reads. Yes, angry is spelled that way. Okay. So, yeah. So Mike is saying, I know Locker 9. I know Mike had recommended Locker 9 to me before, and I'm definitely going to read that as well. But so anyway, let's get back to this, what's going on in Mexico. Here's my problem with the situation in Mexico. Now, there is huge issues in Mexico. The drug cartels, they kill cops, they kill politicians right in the street all the time. So as an American, you need to know what you're walking into. And I'm sure these people knew what they were walking into. And, you putting yourselves in harm's way and hoping for the best is not the smartest thing. If you can avoid that type of situation, I think that's a better way to go. I'm going to tell you right now, there is not enough money that you could give me to go to certain parts of Mexico. Okay, Cancun, Puerto Vallarta, those are tourist towns. That's a little bit different. But when you're talking like Mexico City and the stuff that goes on down there and the kidnappings and the violence, there was a lot more to that story about the Mormons. Oh, I'm sure there was. I'm sure there was, JT. We're just hearing, bits and pieces of it. And of course, the outrage of what's going on, which is absolutely outrageous. Don't get me wrong. And my heart goes out to the families. Anytime, it was an ambush. And I think that, and it sounds terrible, that was it collateral damage? Were they the wrong people? And this is, I was having a conversation about this with Prepper Rabbit, and I'm going to give a great example. Okay, and this is just me snowballing, me thinking here. So we have this situation down there, and the American people are outraged. They're very upset, right? Which they should be. What about all the people that we target around the world, the different terrorists that we consider, whoever the terrorist may be, and we drop a missile in on them, not only killing them, but killing women and children at the same time, okay? Collateral damage, right? So that's okay, but this is not. So again, stay with me on this, guys. You know what I mean? So I have to look at it in perspective. Again, if I'm a terrorist, I'm not going to have my wife and children around me at all times because I don't want them to be killed if I'm attacked. Okay, the cartels down in Mexico, they are in charge, guys. They are the ones making the rules. If they can't bribe you as a politician or scare you as a politician, they'll kill you. So these are people that they don't play. They absolutely do not play. So. Again, and who feeds that? Who fuels that? Where's all this money coming from? Okay, so think about this too. Where's all this money come? Where's the drug cartel getting all this money from? Oh, that's right, the United States of America. Because of the porous borders, the drugs coming in, and people are being bribed and stuff here too. It happens all the time, guys. It happens all the time. So. Bernard just said the CIA. Yeah, they're huge. They're probably the biggest drug pusher in this country. A lot of those black ops groups down there. Where do you think that money comes from? Smuggling drugs. Where there's a demand. I want you guys to think about something too. All right. Before we got involved with Afghanistan, let's talk about that for a second. Before we got involved with Afghanistan, go back, look at the numbers. If I'm talking out of my rear end, then you'll know. But if I'm not, then you're also going to know. Before we got involved, the Taliban had gone in there and were destroying the poppy fields, destroying the heroin trade. We get in there. It is so easy to get heroin in this country now. It is ridiculous. Okay. Why is that? We're over there, right? Why aren't we destroying the poppy fields? It's big money. It's business. Somebody said to me, oh, it's a $200 million a year business. Well, that's still business. It's still money. And, you can get heroin all over the place. Now, look at all the young men and women all across this country, white, black, red, and yellow, that have died because of heroin. Okay, and brown. Let's not forget them too. Sorry, guys. But, it's ridiculous. Border Patrol has corrupt elements. Of course it does. You know what? And there's probably good people in the Border Patrol as well. You can't it's just like saying all cops are bad. All cops are not bad. Because of a few bad eggs, it's a bad reflection on everybody else. It's any kind of occupation. You know what? If for the right amount of money, if you're on that border, you may look the other way while they come across with those drugs, And it happens, guys. It happens all the time. And once they find that person, that weak link, they're going to exploit it, and it happens constantly. If there wasn't a demand, there wouldn't be the influx of drugs and sex and children. This is scary. You're right, Lee. You're absolutely right. And I'm going to show that so other people can see that. Oh, wait a minute. God darn it. Oh, will somebody show that? One of the moderators, please. Click on that so people can see that. Okay, so anyway, but again, there's a lot of stuff going on that continues to go on. So let's talk about who's now back in the forefront of things again really quickly. Guys, if you haven't shot me a thumbs up yet, if you would do that, I would definitely appreciate that. I see we got like 550 in the chat and only 229 thumbs up. Come on, guys. So I appreciate the thumbs up. I really do. Two things I want to talk about. We're going to get into Jeffrey Epstein in a second, but I did want to mention really, really quickly, we do have the sale going on my website right now. If you go to preppernurse1.com, we have a sale on the freeze-dried foods. If you are looking to add to your long-term food storage, it's a good opportunity to do that. We're doing 15% off the 60 meal buckets. It is 20% off the 120 meal buckets. And it is 25% off the 183 mega sample pack. So if you're interested, go to my website. You'll see them all right there on the front. They're all right there letting you know what the prices are and stuff like that, okay? So definitely take advantage of that if you are interested. And again, that's preppernurse1.com. We also obviously have T-shirts, coffee mugs, and bumper stickers as well, available merchandise, obviously, at the website. Okay, so let's talk about this one. Now that he's getting back into the limelight, Jeffrey Epstein, and I thought this was interesting. I just saw an article where, who's the guy down in California, the one senator down there? Going blank. Who's the senator guys down in California? Is it Mitt Romney? No, it wasn't. Or I think, was it he? He's not California. But I think, Newsom, then it wasn't him. I think it was Mitt Romney, was in Jeffrey Epstein's personal phone. Obviously, Clinton is in Jeffrey Epstein's personal phone. I saw a thing, a lady that was mic'd up, didn't realize that she was still mic'd up. Well, they call it a hot feed. And she was talking about how 3 years ago, all this information that came out about Epstein and all these contacts with these rich and powerful people that he was bribing to get so he could be rich and powerful. How all this information was there. She had all that information 3 years ago, and they wouldn't let her run it because of the connections that people had. And, and now it all came out. And she was talking about, she goes, yeah, it was 3 years ago. I had all this information, all of it. So you're talking about one of the biggest serial pedophiles going with Jeffrey Epstein, okay? And the ABC News blocked the story. Yeah, exactly, Bruno. They did. They wouldn't let it air. You're talking about rich, powerful people all the way up to the royal family in the UK with Prince Andrew. He was involved in that too. Bill Clinton, all these rich and powerful people, they were all involved in that type of stuff, having sex with underage girls and all that type of stuff. So, why aren't there going to be more arrests from this? I know they got information. I'm sure they got enough information out of Epstein in the beginning before he killed himself, which he did not kill himself. He was killed. The Vatican was tied to Epstein too, all Mike is saying. You know what, Mike? That wouldn't shock me at all. So, but yeah, it's just, now that that's coming out again, hey, Al Gibson, the families living in the area of Mexico have lived in that area for many generations now for religious reason. I sure hope we don't get drug into this problem over Mexico. Oh, well, I didn't realize that. So, well, thank you for that information. So, all right, so they were already down there. I didn't realize that they lived in Mexico. So, but thank you for that donation as well, and thank you for that information. Yeah, and so now we're going to now we're going to have our troops pulled in to deal with it as well. I don't, it's scary. It is absolutely scary. What's going on? What they're all. And think about this. Here, Trump, and you love him or hate him, you can do whatever you want. I don't care. I'm just going to share information. I honestly believe Trump is trying to keep us out of war. Okay, and all these entities are trying to get war going. They want war with Iran so bad they can taste it. Vice has doc from 2012 on Mormons in Mexico. Oh, okay. Yeah, I you know what? I had no idea. I'm sure they're down there trying to spread the word. With Mormonism. Like a lot of there's with the Mormons, a lot of them do missionary work. I know that a lot of them do that. So. Yeah, Mountain Girl says, I believe he is. He wants to focus on the U.S., which I think is great. And I've never seen ever the other party, meaning the Democratic Party, spend all their time, effort to try to get rid of them instead of trying to help the country. Let's focus on our country. Let's not worry about who the president is. Work together, do your jobs, and I'm talking about the politicians, Democrat, Republican, and Independent. Do your jobs and work for us, the American people. That's exactly what they should be doing. So it's crazy. L. Gibson says, nope, they have many wives. Yeah, the Mormons definitely believe in bigamy. Virginia turned blue last night. Yeah, well, I know that Kentucky, the governor lost, but I know there was like a lot of issues with the governor wanting to take away different stuff. So I know he was out. But again, guys, let's remember something, okay? Want you to remember, I'm going to reiterate this all the time because it's like when I see these different comments, Republican, Democrat, working together, okay, against who? The American people. They are two sides of the same coin, two wings of the same bird. They are not looking out for us. Remember that. I want you guys to really remember that because they're not, okay? They're making a ton of money with war, and they kill the little people. Of course they do, JT. Yeah. It is small town America. It is city America that goes out and fights these wars. It is not the powerful elitist and their kids. Their kids don't go. And if their kids do go, they're in the back lines. They're not, a lot of times they're not on the front lines. So. Yep, Trump was a Democrat until he evolved. That's funny. Yeah, he was. And they loved him. They loved him, you know. You know, and that's what I think is hilarious as well. You look at all the pictures with people like Oprah Winfrey and who's that idiot in New York? Sharpton, Al Sharpton. That I don't know if you like him or not. I just think he's an idiot. He plays the role, and I never liked Al Sharpton. So I didn't like fat Al Sharpton. I don't like skinny Al Sharpton. So, but anyway, oh my God. But hey, Mike, Ed, you are living the life. Thank you very much. I'm going to tell you what, I am blessed every day. I love where I'm at. I love what I'm doing here. I'm looking forward to continue to do things here and to get more self-sufficient as I go along. I'm really excited about the next year coming up. I think we're going to have a really fun, exciting year again. This year was fantastic, guys. Absolutely fantastic. We got a lot done. Yeah, Sharpton is a race baiter. He absolutely is. Yep, Furry Beaver just said that, and I agree with you. He's always just stirring the pot. But anyway, yeah, I just, this year's been fantastic. We got so much done. How's Heather doing in school? Heather's doing very, very well. Okay, so now I got to tell you the Heather story, guys. All right, so I called Heather last night, probably 6 o'clock. What you doing? Well, I go, what? I'm in a tattoo parlor. I'm like, what? I'm in a tattoo. Now, she told me when she turned 18, she was probably going to get a tattoo. Discussed with her, what kind of tattoo she should probably look to get. Nothing big and gaudy, nothing, extreme. Do something that you can hide. Now, I have 7 tattoos. I cannot tell her she can't get a tattoo. She's 18. She can do whatever she wants to do now. So she got a tattoo on her leg that starts below the knee all the way down to her foot. So I'm like, well, it's your choice. Not the choice I would have made, but again, that's what she's doing. So today, yeah. But you know what? She's still a good kid. She just, she's just feeling her oats and her freedom. And it's okay. So Heather is born in the same year that I am. In the Chinese astrology, they go with a 12-year cycle. Okay. I was born in the year of the snake. My kids, when I was 36, were born in the year of the snake. So she put a snake on her shin, which has some rose or flowers and stuff around it. So it goes down her leg into her foot. So that's what she got. Defiant. No, it's not being defiant. I don't really think it's that. She just, she's finding herself and she has to follow her own path. And, and I respect that. I do. What are you doing there, Max? Nice stretch. He's just going to turn and go back to sleep the other way. But, she just, I would not be the tattoo that I picked for her. But again, it's her choice, and she is an adult, and there's nothing that I can do about it. So, no tattoos, identity marks if you need to disappear. Well, hopefully she doesn't need to disappear. She's a pretty good kid, so she's doing all right. But I just was like, she goes, and it's not from the money you give me, Dad. I got the money from what I earned because she's working at the school as well. So she's got a part-time job. But she's a good girl, and she's not on drugs or anything like that, and she's getting good grades. So I really can't complain about her getting a tattoo. I can't, Mom's doing good. Actually, Mom went back to my sister's today. She'll be back on Monday. And so I got to tell you this. Okay, so, hey, Red Wolves 215 or 2015. We need to bring our troops home and start taking care of our own country, and we need to stop being the police of the world. You're right. I agree with you 100%. Take care of our infrastructure, education, and healthcare. I agree with you 100%. 100%. Great comment, and thank you for that donation. You are 100% right. We need to stop being the policemen of the world. We got to stop being the modern day Rome. We need to take care of our own country and our own people. And, but that's how it goes. I'm a slave driver. Yeah, to Mom. Yeah. No, she actually pushes me, believe it or not. So I got to tell you what happened today. So I had a comment in a video today, and I laughed because I was just thinking of this last week, and this person made me think of it again. They said, why don't you take some of those concrete blocks that you got and make a step so you get it into the chicken coop easier? And I was like, literally last week, I was thinking about that. So actually, I did do that today. Thank you for the reminder. I can't remember who the person was. I did reply to them. So I put 4 concrete blocks over, so I got a nice easy step now into the chicken coop. So I did that. When I showed the video that I did earlier, had that rebar. I decided I got that done today too. So I put that rebar in all the rebar that I had from the garden. I put that into the fencing for the dog run, and then I cut back the bushes in the driveway. Up by the front, the weeds were coming over, and you drive in, it would rub on the car. So I got those cut back today too. And we took down the flags today. So if you see the next video and there's no flags up, I took them down for the year. So anybody that doesn't know the channel, and again, if you're brand new here, you like what we're doing, please subscribe. Make sure that you hit that bell icon so you get all the notifications. Like, comment, and share, of course, please. And don't forget that thumbs up. What are we at? 300 thumbs up. We had 500 the other day when we did Wednesday's chat. We had over 500 thumbs up. I don't know if we're going to beat that today, but anyway, so I fly the flags. People send me flags from around the world for their country. It shows the unity we have as preppers, that we are all in this together, and I talk about that a lot. And that's why I fly the flags from the different countries around the world, to show that we are all brothers and sisters, all of us preppers, off-gridders, people that want to be free. That's why I fly the flags from all over the world. So I took all the flags down today. The only 2 that I leave up year-round, I leave Sweden's flag up, and that was sent to me by a good friend of mine over there in Sweden who has his own channel. Great guy, and he's doing a lot of good stuff with his channel. And then I leave the American flag up. Now, my American flag, I was looking at it. It's starting to get a little worn. After this winter, I'm going to replace it and get a brand new one. So, that's I'm definitely going to do that. Don't go jumping the gun, Schmitty. Don't go jumping the gun. We're not going to do that till we get down to the end of the day. So, but anyway, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on, guys. And realistically, we just need to stay focused, continue to prep, continue to get ready as much as you possibly can, because we never know when that balloon's going to go up. And I think when it does happen, it's going to be a very, very scary time. It's going to be very sudden. It's still going to be shocking. There's a lot of stuff going on with the banks too. I can do another, maybe I'll do that when we talk about, maybe I'll do the live stream on Friday. We'll talk about the banking situation, not even just here in America, but around the world. You're having a lot of run on banks now. People are lining up. They want their money. And that's scary for the banks. They are not fluid. They don't have enough to do that. The banks continue to borrow money. every night. That's been going on. If you watch any of the stuff that's going on with that, you would know that that's happening too. Way worse than the bailouts now that happened back in 2008. So a lot of stuff going in. Yeah, banks are getting sketchy. Sandy P just said, "Can I please post?" Oh, I missed that. Hold on a second. Let me put this back up here. Can you please post a very informative video for us all to watch after stream? It gives me goosebumps. It's very important information. Oh, about the banks? Yeah, like I said, I'll do that on Friday. That'll be the live stream on Friday. So if you're watching now, please on Friday join us. We're going to be talking about the banking situation. So a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, they're injecting millions or billions into the banks. Yes, they are, JJ, and they're doing it on a down low. Very sneaky. The government just keeps printing that more money. So there could absolutely be a financial collapse. Very scary stuff. And when it happens, guys, you look at what happened in 1929 when everything was going along great. Everybody's living life large. Things are going fantastic. And then you had the banking crisis. And look what the unemployment rate was. And people didn't have jobs. And very scary times. And I could see that happening again. I really could see that happening again. And it's not a good thing. Absolutely not a good thing. Brandy just said, get your money out now and buy silver. Silver and gold are good hedges for that. It's easier to get rid of silver than it is gold. I've talked about that many, many times. I do have some silver. I don't have any gold. I don't keep gold because, first of all, it's way too expensive. And it's just not, to get rid of it again, it's very, very difficult. Where silver is definitely going to be, your junk silver is the way to go. You want to get silver bars, ounces and stuff like that. That's fine too. But yeah, that's definitely the way to go. But here's something I want you to remember. You cannot eat silver and gold. Okay, that's important. So make sure you have your food preps taken care of before you even think about doing stuff like that. Yep, no, buy preps. And that's what I was just saying. Yeah, take care of your preps first. Heavy snow heading your way for next week. Hope you and your family and the fur babies will be okay. Much love. Thank you from Ireland. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that, Shannon. Yeah, I know that they're talking tomorrow. I think the high is going to be in the 30s tomorrow. We're going to be in the 20s tomorrow night, I believe. I can tell you in a second exactly. Because I looked at the extended forecast and let's see. So hold on, let me just look at this real quick and I will tell you. All right, so tomorrow's high is going to be 40 with a low overnight of 24. Friday is going to be 33 for a high with a low overnight of 19. Saturday, high of 40, low of 34. Sunday is going to be 49. Then next week, we're looking at 35 for the high on Monday, 29 for the high on Tuesday, 26 for Wednesday, 30 on Thursday. And then Friday, 35. So yeah, I absolutely expect we'll be getting some snow next week. So yeah, it's that time of year. Unfortunately, it's getting chillier. We've had a fire going all day here today at the homestead. Eddie and I brought in wood and got that loaded up, and so that part squared away. Yeah, the people that are not awake will be the first to complain when SHTF happens. Yep, you're absolutely right. L. Gibson, preps first, then silver, and if you want gold, then buy in grams so that you can use it. That's a very good advice, L. Gibson. You're right. Preps got to come first. You got to have food and water are the number one things. Obviously, water is very, very important. But if you have the water taken care, no, leave him. He's resting. And thank you for that donation too, L. Gibson. I appreciate that. But again, food is going to be really, really key, guys. If you have access to water, then you're all set. Water can be purified in a lot of different ways, which we've actually gone over a lot. So, yes. Okay, that's actually JJ just said, get some good bartering items for the people that can't afford silver and gold. Bartering, and a lot of people say, oh, bartering is scary, don't want to barter. But if you have stuff that you can barter, it's going to make a big, big difference when that time comes. Okay, are you going to get Abel in there to say hi? You need to put his paw down. Okay, that's enough. Thank you. All right. So anyway, guys, had to have the Eddie visit with the cat. Booze is good for barter, Sandy P. Yep, absolutely. You're 100% right. And I absolutely have booze back to barter. I buy stuff for that. You know, I have a lot of other stuff that I definitely will use for barter as well. When it comes to bartering, you definitely want to be careful. You can't, I missed that. You can't steal what you can't get your hands on. Right. And that's the whole thing. When the time comes, the stores are going to be cleaned out really, really quickly. And I think a lot of people don't realize how fast things are going to go south when things go south. And I'm planning on hunkering down and riding it out. And my people are going to get here, and we're going to just take care of business. And so, and working with neighbors is definitely a good part of that as well. And that network is growing all the time. So it's very, very important. Coffee is definitely a good thing for barter. Yeah, coffee, cigarettes, and alcohol. Believe it or not, people are going to really want those. They're really going to want those. So that's definitely a good thing. Guys, if you haven't shot me a thumbs up yet, if you would do that, I absolutely would appreciate it. Dead end road is key. That definitely helps. You know, I'm like I said, I'm on a dead end dirt road, off a side road, off a side road, off a side road. So there's not a main road where a lot of traffic goes through for a while, which is good. And you know, and again, I think you're going to see that people are going to lock down. They're going to watch out for themselves a lot. I think you're going to see a lot of people in my neighborhood. I think people will work together. I really do. Mr. Rose says, I buy ammo each paycheck just like beans. Yeah. You know what? And that's the biggest thing, which you got to understand too. When it happens, when the time comes, and I want you to really think about this, guys, okay? Because this is really important. You are going to have what you have, and that's it. There's not going to be that opportunity to make that one last run to go get something else. You're going to have what you have. So, you know, when people think that you do something to the extreme or whatever, bartering is going to be a huge thing. You may have something that somebody wants. Think about this. I mean, as silly as this may be, clothespins, okay? So people can hang up their laundry and not have it blow off. Something like that would be a great barter item. And you can get clothespins cheap, really, really cheap. You're going to need them for yourself, you know. There's so many different things that you could just use. And that was just like one example. But there's so many different things that you could have that you could use in that type of situation. So you will find out what humanity is real quick when SHTF. Yes, you are exactly right. You will find out real quick. You know, I see a lot, and this is something that I think a lot of people really don't get. And they'll talk about these natural disasters or the emergency situations that happen, and everybody worked together, and it was fantastic, and it was great. Yeah. And the main reason why, guys, is because they know it's going to end and things are going to go back to normal. Think about that. It's very good to be helpful and nice and all that type of stuff when you know that it's a short-term event, it's going to be over, things are going to go back to normal. What if you have no idea? How fast then do you think that people will be super helpful? They may be in the very beginning. Again, we talk about the 72-hour window, okay? You got that 72-hour window, and you may not have that. But let's say you have that 72-hour window. Get to where you want to go, be ready, and be ready to do what you have to do to defend what you have. You know, Venezuela has been going for 10 years. Yeah, they've had a lot of issues for a long time, and a lot of the same types of issues that is going on right now with Chile. A lot of the same type of issues that are going on right now here. Yes, on a nationwide scale, it would be completely different, JJ just said. Exactly. A nationwide event that affects everybody, all bets are off at that point, guys. And you need to be ready to do what you need to do to protect yourself and yours. You really, really do. And I want you to think about those things. Okay, so if I have a SHTF tent and solar panel, I can dream, can I? Hey, there you go, Mike. Absolutely. Hey, you know what? Anything that you do, and here's what I want you guys to remember too. Anything that you do now in preparation for SHTF or any event gives you the advantage. Why would you not want the advantage? That's something to think about, okay? Be as ready as you can be. Exactly. The happy elf just said that. You're exactly right. Be as ready as you can be. All right. So at this point in the show, we're definitely going to do this. We got to do this. Where is everybody? Okay. So first of all, we are all in this together. We are legion because we are many. Okay. And not in the biblical bad way, in the good way, because there's so many of us out here. We're all over the place. We're all over the country. We're all over the world. Okay. Where is everybody from? Let's see where everybody's from tonight. Howe, Texas, Kansas, Western Maine, Chicagoland, Northern Central Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Linden, Texas, Florida, BC, Canada, New Mexico, Maine, Washington State, Belfast, Ohio, Chicago, Northern Texas, Tennessee, Liberty Hills, Texas, New Zealand, Tampa, St. Louis, Maryland, Horton, Texas. Let's see, Argentina, I saw. Cool. Michigan, New Jersey, Southern Illinois, Wildwood, Florida, Seabrook, Texas, Alabama, Colorado, New York City, Connecticut, Southwest Ontario, Duluth, Minnesota, British Columbia, Canada, Orlando, very nice. Southern Arizona, Kentucky, nice. Indiana, People's Republic of California, that's funny. Arkansas, Missouri, Cincinnati, Ohio, Naples, Florida, Woodstock, Virginia, Michigan, coastal North Carolina, Connecticut. We got Ohio, Perkins, Ohio, Connecticut. So, guys, we're all over the place, and that's the cool thing. We got the UK. We got Matt there from the UK. Scotland, very cool. Rudy's from Scotland, cool. Rockwell, Texas, New England, but Oklahoma. It was all over the place, all over the country, all over the world, all throughout Canada, all throughout Europe. You know, that's so cool. You know, we are a huge, huge family, and we really, truly, with networking and working together, I'm telling you guys, the difference that we can make when the time comes can be astronomical. It really, really can be. And we can actually save a lot of people. We really can if we take that time. I think it's important that we try to do that. You know, some of you are going to say no, 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 and that's fine. But I think, you know, we got to try. Oh, there's Oregon. Cool. Somebody from Mexico. Nice. So, but we are a big family, guys, and that's important to remember, okay? I think a lot of times people lose sight of that. They get scared with prepping, and I understand that. I truly do. The biggest thing is you do the best you can. Make sure you have ways to protect yourself and your family, and be prepared to do what's necessary to do what you have to do when that time comes. There are things that we're going to have to do, guys, that are not going to be pleasant. But to protect the ones that we love and that we care about, you're going to have to do what you're going to have to do. So helping out is risky, Terrence Parker Jr. just said. And you are right, it is risky. But think about this. If you reach out that hand and you help somebody, and maybe that person is somebody that down the road, because of their knowledge and what they know, maybe they save your life. To me, it's worth that risk. And of course, you're going to have to vet people. You're absolutely going to have to vet people. You just can't take everybody in. Ireland on the list. Yep, I saw that too, Mountain Girl. That's very cool. You know, you're going to have to vet people. You're going to have to feel them out. If your gut says to you, don't take this person in, and you don't take them in, you know, be careful. It's really, really important. You got to be careful too, because you just never know. So, but yeah, it's just, you know, those are things that you need to, it's an individual basis, but I believe that, to survive, again, and I'm going to say it again, and I've said it a million times, but I'm going to repeat myself, and hopefully, you know, that it sinks in at some point. It's going to take a village to survive what's coming. Not an individual, not just one family, not a small group. It's going to take a village of people. And when I say a village of people, how many? Minimum 20 to 50 is my guess. That would be what I would guess. If the more people you have, and what you got to realize, okay, the more people that you have in your group working together, And that's the key. And of course, are we going to make everybody happy? Of course not. We're never going to make everybody happy. But if we have more people working together, if somebody gets sick or somebody gets hurt, it doesn't really cause that big of a difference in what we have to get squared away. Okay. You're going to have people on watch. People are going to have to be awake constantly. There's going to be a tremendous amount of work that has to be done. Fortifications, housing, wood being chopped, gardens to be tended to, all those type of things. It's going to be absolutely very, very busy, especially the time of year when, like in the Northeast, we are very limited to our window of when we can grow crops and stuff like that. So we really need to strike while the iron's hot. So those times of years are going to be very, very busy, here's something. Okay, so here's something I wanted to address too. So talking about real quick before I jump off here, talking about the chickens and how the egg production goes down with the shorter days in the winter, and somebody put a light in there and keep that light on all the time, and they'll lay more eggs. I kind of have this is my own feeling. They need a rest too sometimes. They give me eggs all the time. I get eggs all the time. So even when they slow down, I'm still getting eggs every day. Now today I only got 2 eggs today. So you just don't know. Each day to day, you don't know what you're going to get. But Mr. Rose says, no, put it on a timer. Okay. But I don't want to wear them out either. So that's kind of where, they do need to rest. Yeah, Happy Elves is just saying that. And that's my thing. I want to give them that time so that they can rest. And that's kind of where I'm at with that. Just my own type of thing. But I definitely am going to have some way. I'm going to run an extension cord out there, and so that they can stay warm. I have a heat lamp that I will put definitely when it gets cold, so that they can be okay. That chicken coop, guys, is very, very insulated, just so you know. Anybody that goes back and watches the videos, I insulated the crap out of that greenhouse, and people were like, why are you insulating? You don't need to insulate. But I want to keep my chickens warm. I want to keep them safe, and so that's why I did that. I don't use light. My wife is in charge of the chickens. She feels the same way. Okay, very cool. Very cool. Nothing wrong with that. Well, anyway, guys, it's already 9 o'clock. I can't believe how, again, I know I say it every time. It is amazing how fast this hour goes by. Also, we're at 396. Okay, we got to shoot that last push. Let's get over 400 on a thumbs up, guys. If you haven't done it yet, please do. And you guys are awesome. Let me just say, my moderators are fantastic. You guys do a fantastic job. I appreciate what you do. You're a big part of this too. You guys keep the chat clean, and that's what it's all about. And it keeps it nice for everybody. And that's so important to me. It really, really is. So all you guys, thank you so much. Thank you for everybody being here. Thank you for all the feedback. You guys are awesome. I appreciate all of you. I really do. We have great chat. We have great comments going back and forth. And I think that that's very, very cool. It's absolutely awesome. I enjoy it. I really, truly do. These are this. It's funny. It's like this is like work, but it's not work. This is enjoyable. I really, truly enjoy this. I love the feedback. I love the ideas. The going back and forth, and in the comments that people leave on the channel. That's very cool as well. So, like I said, you guys are great. You really, truly are. And I do appreciate all of you. And I appreciate you watching me every day and watching our life and seeing what we're doing. So that's kind of cool. That's, it's very humbling. You have no idea. It's like my one buddy's like, man, don't ever get a big head. And I'm like, you know what, man, I remember where I came from. I am never going to get a big head. I don't think I'm all that. I'm just me. And that you guys want to tune in every day and see what we're doing. That is fantastic. And it's, like I said, it's very, very humbling. And I appreciate all of you. I really, truly do. Well, anyway, guys, remember, we are all in this together. That's important to remember. Also remember, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really, really important to tell the people that we care about every single day how we feel. Also remember, guys, STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. You make that forward progress every day, even if it's just a little bit. You would be amazed how fast things get done. It's just like what we've done here. I live what I say. I try to make forward progress all the time, and and we're doing it, and it's awesome. And so anyway, thank you guys. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great day. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.